Venom LaFlair, baby. 2K19, man. Dreams of music. 5K studio, man. The best of the best, Vick Venom. Hey, oh, hey, oh, and I don't know. Hey, I said, baby, hey,
always athletic. I love playing football, and it was a Thanksgiving football game that fellas and family members play. It's called turkey ball, if you don't know. And I got hurt playing football in the first play, and I hit one of my friends. It was weird because I hit one of my friends that I know, and when I hit him, I instantly knew that I was, paralyzed. You know what I mean? As soon as I hit him, because it was like a straight shock. I hit the ground, I was on the ground, I couldn't move. And at that moment, my life changed.
But I'm gonna go. I said down this road. But I'm going down this road. Even though it's cold, I'ma be real bold. And listen what my mama told me. Cause I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. But I don't know, yeah, why it's so cold. Granddaddy Caddy told me the only friend I got is dead presidents. So I get it like my niggas blowing in the wind.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Vick Venom LaFlair A.K.A. Vick Calhoun, one of the hottest rappers in Pittsburgh right now. I'm out here about to drop a little knowledge for you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm out here with Grandma Worldwide. You know what I'm saying? We about to promote a little bit of business, little documentary about my life. I grew up on the east side of Pittsburgh, you know what I mean? Preferably, East Hills. I'm just a Pittsburgh area. Actually, a Yinzer for real. For 38 years I've been here. You know what I mean? This is where I grew up from, I'm a Steel City G. This is where I come from. You know what I mean? I've been here since A1 day one, I grew up in a tough era, man, 94, 95, It was hard, man. It was really, it was the peak of the gangbanging season, peak of, people who want to be in sets and all that stuff, and I had to weave through that. I had to maneuver through a lot of stuff, being younger and trying to fit in with the groups of people who was gangbanging, and I wasn't that kind of person. So, growing up was hard, because you couldn't go to certain neighborhoods, you couldn't go to certain places, I was in a school called Stereo Classical Academy. Shout out to Stereo Classical Academy. It was like a neutral spot. It wasn't Rising Stand at the time when it was hard for people, and it also was a Westinghouse. It was a magnet school, so it was like a different, group of people from the hill. So it was different. But my childhood was hard. I grew up in a household with a single mother. I had a brother and sister, but I was the youngest, you know what I'm saying? So being the youngest was hard, you know what I'm saying? My sister and brother left when I was young. So, I had to grow up fast. I would run away from home and, I wouldn't come home, you know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to fit in, you know what I'm saying? And I kind of broke my mother's heart really bad because, I didn't understand, how she felt when she was, raising a single, a son, being there was a single parent home. So, I learned my childhood was kind of rough. I got locked up a lot. I had to bump my head 100 times. So shouts out to all the young boys now. You know what I'm saying? Don't bump your head. You look at me for, an example. You know what I'm saying? Don't do things that you think you can do. Don't act off of impulse, because that's what I did. And I got caught up in a lot of, things. I could be dead right now or in jail. So, it was a hard thing, but I persevered and I got through it.
So some time back, you had an opportunity to talk to the youth who were in a juvenile recidivism program.
Yeah.
And you had an opportunity to go and talk to them about some of the mistakes that you made. Why did you feel that was important for you to do?
I mean, I was compelled to do it. You know what I mean? As a person who's been through it before, and as a juvenile who was actually locked up in the system, as one of those juveniles that was there, I was compelled to tell them what's important in life. Was the things that they were doing, it will lead them in down a road that they didn't want to go. You know what I'm saying? I made a song called Down This Road because when you make wrong decisions and the decisions you make are always going to catch up with you down the road. So I was compelled to go there because it's important to tell the youth that you can do all things through Christ that gives you strength. And even though you think you're alone in this game, you're not. You You know what I'm saying? Because I've been there. There's a lot of guys out here who've been there and done it and was able to survive, and there's also ones who didn't. So I didn't want them to end up to be a statistic. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was there to show them that even though I'm in this wheelchair here, I persevered and I made it, to my ability to do something different versus letting my disability rule me or change my life. So I just want to show an example that you can do all things that gives you strength in Christ.
So tell us about some of the things you had to go through after you broke your neck. And you had I guess there was a period where you had a choice to either, fight or, let it be. Tell us about that period.
Oh man, that's hard, bro. I came here, man. I couldn't. When I got here, I didn't understand why I was in the situation. But the situation was real. I went hard for my mother's face. I didn't want to see her disappointed. It was hard, man. It was hard. But I worked hard. I made sure that I continue to work hard at therapy. I went to therapy every day. I wanted to make sure my mother understood that I was going to do whatever I could to get back to her. Even if it was halfway, she'd still be proud of me. And that's what I did, man. I made sure, she didn't have to worry for nothing because she knew our son was going to work hard. And that's what I did. I didn't let that stop me. And, I didn't go out for a while. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to adjust. You know what I'm saying? Being in the wheelchair, how to adjust. So I stayed at home for like 5 years. Didn't go to the mall. Didn't go to, go out a lot. And just one day I met a female that changed my life. She made me go out and, she helped me get accustomed to life. I got my education, got my GED, and I was thankful. At that moment, I had no choice but to do was, go through what I was going through. So I ended up having a spinal cord injury, C5, C6. Spinal cord injury, if some people don't understand, that's a breakage of your neck in the upper level of your neck. So with that being said, I had to start all over. I couldn't move. I couldn't move my head. I was in rehab for 4 to 5 months. I had to start all over, washing my face, brushing my teeth, learning how to move my arms, grabbing things. And, I was blessed to, work hard. It took so much energy out of me to get back to where I'm at right now. And I'm thankful and I'm appreciative of my mother to be here, my father, my family members to be there to support me, to support in those kind of situations are important. And I worked my way back. You know what I mean? I didn't let anything stop me because you know what? I said, my life is still here. I'm still alive, and I'm going to make this up to my benefit. And I worked so hard to get where I'm at right now, and I'm thankful to be here right now. So everybody who's in this situation, you do the same thing. Just look at me.
Your mom was your everything. She instilled those values and morals into you, and basically encouraged you to keep fighting.
Yeah.
Speak one more on your mom.
Man, my mother was a Christian woman. First and foremost, she loved the Lord. And she was a strong black woman raising 3 kids. And she was a beautiful person. She would light up a room when she came into the room. You know what I mean? She would always smile and hug one another, hug somebody, and always tell them, God got your back. And whatever you were going through, she would pray for you. She was that kind of person, like almost a big mom. You know what I'm saying? You ever have a big mom and she would always say something to you that make you feel good? That was my mom. My mom was that person. She always would say something to make me realize what was going on in my life, what I'm doing wrong, so I can change it. You see what I'm saying? So that was, oh man, she was just an ultimate encourage her. You know, when you have a mom that always doesn't let you take any slack, my mom, you know, didn't let me have any excuses when I was wrong. You know what I mean? My mom would make sure that even though you did something wrong, you would know it. My mom was just a beautiful person. She was a flower. She was spiritual, and she, you know, when she passed, it was on Valentine's Day, and it was really weird because she said to me, Victor, when I'm gone, you'll be okay. She said, Victor, and I was like, well, don't say that. What you saying that for? And, you know, then she passed away a month or two later, and, you know, God works in such mysterious ways that when she did pass, her old father, you know, my grandfather, he passed a week later, and then my cousin died maybe 2 months later after that. So those things really was, you know, really crushed me. It crushed me so hard. But ultimately, it makes me stronger. But then on top of that, you know, I got sick. I turned around and had cancer, right? I had cancer. I didn't know nothing about cancer, and I ended up popping up with cancer and kidney disease. When I came to disease with kidney cancer, I said to myself, "Why? You know, how is this possible? Where is this coming from?" You know, 2 months later, after having three devastating, you know, losses in my family, and you know, what happened was my family came together. You know what I'm saying? They came together and they rallied around me, and I beat the cancer. You know what I mean? And that was just a blessing, you know, that it wasn't, you know, too far along. You know what I mean? But it was a blessing. It was a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? My mom was there, my grandfather was there, my cousin was there with me. You see what I'm saying? So that was just like the inspiration, the dedication that she had for me. You know, my grandfather, her, my cousin, they loved me so much that they made sure that cancer was gone. They made sure it wasn't there no more. And that was the real effect that I got from that. So that's why it was gone to me. That's what I believe in. That's why I go so hard about just life in general. You know what I mean? In general, because life ain't, you know, tomorrow ain't promised, man. You know what I mean? Tomorrow ain't promised, bro. So that's what she means to me. She means so much to me that you know, that's why I go so hard, man. You know what I mean? Just all the whole name. You know what I mean? So if you lost somebody, you know what I mean, don't let it eat you up, man. Let it motivate you, because they want to see you persevere, man. So, you know, that's why I come, you know, that's how I feel.
Were you able to find advocates to be able to, you know, speak on your behalf, or to, you know?
You know what? There's no advocacy. There's no advocates for people with disabilities. That's the hardest thing. That's what I'm fighting for. This is why I do my music. This is why I try to make this music and gain awareness, because there's no advocacy for people with disabilities, blind, deaf, or people who can't walk. There's nobody there to say, you know, I got your back. I'm here to make sure that your help is here. I'm going to make sure that you get your ride. I'm going to make sure that you get your help. There's no one out here to do that. You know what I mean? I'm trying to raise some awareness for that, because the state needs to be more diligent on home health and just checking on people with disabilities as a whole, because no one's doing that. No one does it. There's no spinal cord research. There's no advocacy for people with disabilities. None of that. And that's wrong. They have all different charities, all different kind of groups, but there's no spinal cord groups. There's no groups that advocate for people with disabilities in a whole. You know, and that's the problem with society now, and that's what we're trying to change.
So is it one of them things where, you know, maybe they exist and they're just, you don't really have access to it, or the knowledge isn't as common as it is to like figure out, you know, where to go to school or something like that?
Well, no, because I go through OVR. There's some different organizations that don't have advocates, that are disability agencies. They don't have anybody to conduct the actual advocacy. There's nobody checking up on the home health or the agencies.
Who was that person for you?
Me, myself, my mom, myself, and my mother. My mother would put that in me. Mm-hmm. So it was basically what you got to do for you. That's what she said. Only you are in this situation, so you have to work for you. No one else is going to do it for you. I can't do it for you. I can't do it for you, sir. And that's what I did. I had to advocate for myself because no one else is going to do it for me, bro. No one can do anything for you but yourself. Always remember.
All right, and how did you cope? What was your coping mechanism through, all of these challenges and adversity, and how did you cope?
My outlet, man, tell you what, was music. Music is my outlet. Music was the only thing because I couldn't write anymore. I couldn't, put a pen to a paper anymore because my hands not moving. So everything would play in my head. Music would play in my head. I remember when I was laying in the bed, my brother brought me a CD called Illuminati, and it was Nas One Mic. All I got is one mic, one chance. And I kept listening to one mic over and over and over again. And I said to myself, I want to be like that. I want to show people that even though I'm in this situation, I'm going to go forward. I'm going to go forward because you know what? I've been here and I got something to talk about. I got a testimony. I got a story to tell. And that's what made me go so hard with the music. Music was my passion. Music was my drive. Music was my love. And that's why I try to express myself in music because I have no other outlet but that. So that's my music. That's music is the outlet for whoever and anybody does. That's how I feel.
So you mentioned that you was fighting on behalf for your mom. You know what I mean? Your mom was your motivator.
Yeah.
And then you met a young lady that kind of inspired you to get back at it. You lost your motivation. So what were some of the challenges that you had to face in regards to just like overall, your overall well-being, taking care of yourself?
Man, it's so many different avenues I can go about to talk about. First thing was just transportation, you know what I mean? Being able to get around every day. In the wheelchair, it's not like you just go from point A to point B. It was just a lot of different things that I had to struggle with in order to learn how to function. Getting help. I had to learn how to go through different waivers, different programs to get the help, to get as well as
explain the help. Explain what the help was.
Just like help as far as like home health. At the time, I didn't have anybody here to help me. I didn't have no help. And in order for me to learn the actual healthcare system, I had to do the research myself. In order to learn how to get the help, I had to research myself. So I went, those avenues were hard to do, but I had to go research it for myself. And once I did that, it opened up doors and different doors for me, medically, emotionally, and just overall periods for a better health, a better livelihood as a whole in a holistic aspect. So I worked really hard on trying to change my life and trying to get the actual right help to be there for me. And so when I found that, I made that a priority to always maintain my health, always maintain my transportation as a single person, as a man myself, or just an individual itself with a disability. You have to learn how to maneuver through different health cares, transportation, different agencies for help, and it's also be your own advocate. So that was my main thing, was being an advocate. And my mom was the main person who helped me to push to be independent. And as well as, a couple other people in my family who ultimately made me push and to be successful. I had to learn how to maintain my own livelihood. So that was the main thing for me. And different agencies, transportation, home health. Well, those are the things that I had to take care of personally to change and make it better for myself. So that was the hardest thing for me, learning how to do it and actually to do it and make sure I do it to the best of my ability so I can be comfortable.
What were some of the things that you had to learn to do?
Oh man, wow. Just for example, calling service coordinations, to coordinate home health, through insurances, through coordinators to get the services, as well as transportation. You gotta go through insurances, coordinators to get the transportation, as well as wheelchair maintenance, repairs. You have to go through all these different steps in order just to get the actual services for yourself. And that's the hardest part about it. You have to go through different steps, and if you don't know how to take the steps, you'll never get it done. And I was the main one not getting it done because I didn't know what to do. And that took time. And it was the hardest thing to do because it was frustrating. People would hang up on you. People wouldn't, they'd be rude to you. It's just so much that goes into being disabled. People won't even understand. And it's the hardest thing to do is to continue to fight for your own right. And that's what I do. I fight for my own right because I'm the only one in this situation. No one else is, except other people in this situation. That's what I'm fighting for you guys. That's why I'm putting this music out to let you guys know that you can do this the same way I'm doing. You can do the same thing. I'm here to help. That's the whole reason I'm doing this.
Tell us about how you got into music.
Well, I've been I was, inspired. I've been inspired by music, from way back when, Flex came out. I remember when first time I heard Flex. Music really was inclined when I was in 5th grade. I had a music teacher named Miss Hudson. She used to teach me like playing the bongos and making a lot of music. So that was my inspiration at first. And then when I got into music and hip hop, the culture changed my lifestyle. It made me move my body when I was young. So, a couple people that I was inspired by was Ahmad. He played a song called Back in the Day when I was young, not a kid anymore. Then I came, I went to a little bit hardcore gangster rap, 8-Ball, MJG, and back in my era was 93, 94. So, Tupac was really heavy back in the day. Ice Cube is one of my favorites. So it was really like West Coast, South, inspiration for me when it came to music. And also I grew up in church too. So church was a really inspiring thing too. My mother took me there, and I played the bongos in the choir. So I had that background musically. So that's what the whole music thing came from. Nemesis, what you know about it? I ain't got no time, I stay up on my grind. I got to shine, read between them lines. Mama told me gotta grind, so I took my time. Now I got to shine, prolong, gotta stay strong. I've been through a lot of things, so I get it on. Yeah, I broke my neck, but I still flex. Yeah, mic check. Yeah, what's next?
So you've gone through a lot, man.
Yeah,
you've gone through a lot. And you mentioned earlier that music is your outlet. That's your way of coping.
Yes, sir.
So what are your goals?
I have, my goals is to, reach a peak where I can be successful with music first and foremost. Stability as a person. I want to be able to get a spinal cord, a stem cell, I should say, to walk again. That's my goal, is to walk again. And a stem cell will make that happen, which is ultimately a hard thing to go by. You need to raise awareness, raise money, and things of that nature. But those are goals that I have to be able to walk again. I haven't walked in 20 years. I've been in a wheelchair since 2001. So, that was the major thing for me, those goals to reach, and also reaching others to change their lifestyle, to let them know that they can do. Look at me. Take me for example. If you're in a wheelchair, you get injured in a car accident, shot, whatever you've been through. Look at me, and I want to change people's outlook on being disabled. Because just because you're disabled doesn't mean your mind is disabled. It doesn't mean your heart is disabled. It means that you have a harder time doing things, but it's going to be a story for you to tell. You know what I mean? That's what it is. It's a testimony to you. It's a testament to you on how hard you can work to get better. So that's how I feel. That's my testament, is to show people that even though I'm in this situation, I can persevere. You can do all things that you think about and you put your heart and mind to. So that's how I look at things. And that's why those goals are so important to me, because I want to change this perspective and outlook on what people look at when you see a person in a wheelchair. You don't just see a wheelchair, you see me. I want you to see me, not just a wheelchair, I want you to see me. So those are the goals that I have. So when you see me and you hear my music, you just don't see a person in a wheelchair, you see the person. That's where I go so hard. Those are the goals that I have.
Yeah, 'cause I'm a king.